Hey everybody, Jerome Maldonado. Wanted to talk to you guys about the best software to utilize to find off-market deals. Look, this question comes up all the time. And it makes me chuckle because I sit back and I'm a very common sense person. I'm not the smartest book in the shed. I'll be the first to admit that I was never a straight A student until I got into college, and I really forced and pushed myself to become a straight A student. Even in college, it took me years to become a straight A student. I was a struggling C student. I always had the philosophy that C's got degrees, and it got me by, right? And I struggled through school. So I wasn't the smartest student in the shed, but I am smart enough to know this. I had common sense. I was like an old dog on the streets in Mexico where you see them and they don't get hit by cars, and people wonder, like, how do these stray dogs never get hit by a car? Because they live in an environment where if they do, they die. And so stray dogs have good common sense. It's house dogs that don't. They fly out of your arms, run straight into a street, don't know what a car is, and they get hit. And so stray dogs have great common sense. And I grew up like a stray dog because when I was growing up, we just had to be home before the lights came down. And our parents let us ride our bikes, ride our skateboards, and we gallivanted with our cousins and friends throughout the neighborhood, right? And so when you do that, you grow up with good common sense because you have to learn survival tactics to grow up on. And so when I sit back and I tell you guys this, I want you guys to appreciate the sarcasm that I'm bringing to you, because understand that when you're shopping off-market deals, right? So you want off-market deals, off-market. The key words in there being off-market. If there was a software that could bring you off-market deals, would it be off-market? Is my question. And so I sit back with common sense going, okay, not to insult the hundreds of people who have asked me that question over the years, but I sit back and go, if it was on any type of software, it's not off market. The second you put it on software, it becomes on market. So there is no software to finding off market deals. I am going to give you the key though. The key to finding off market real estate deals, you yourself, you are the software. I'm the software to finding off-market deals. You know how you find off-market deals? It's called relationships, ladies and gentlemen. The way you find off-market deals in real estate is through relationships. You got to go a little bit back. You got to go a little bit old school here. So for all you millennials looking at getting into the real estate market and trying to understand how to find off-market deals and quote-unquote the perfect software to do this, I got news for you. You have to go back to 1990. Where relationships are truly built. Before e-commerce and the internet was created in 1996. It was actually created before that. It was used by the federal government, but released to the general public in 1996. You have to go pre-1996. Before there was social media, before there was software for this, before you could go online, you have to go back to your smartphone. These aren't dumb phones. These are smartphones. And in this phone, you can find at your fingertips people that can help you find off-market real estate deals. Here's how. You may not have the phone numbers initially programmed in this phone, but you can go to a couple real simple websites. One is called LoopNet and one is called CoStar.com. Those are the two largest commercial sites for real estate nationwide. Now, they're trash cans. They're trash can websites for real estate that hasn't sold. And the reason I call it trash can websites is they're great websites. CoStar and LoopNet are great companies, great websites, but they're not off-market deals. It's where everything lands up that goes on the market to publicize to people in different markets nationwide of commercial real estate. CoStar being the largest commercial real estate research firm in the world. They have more analytics on commercial real estate statistics than anybody else. And LoopNet has more listings than anybody else. So you go to these sites not to find off-market deals. You go to these sites to find professional brokers that advocate for you in the industry that you're looking at purchasing in. I'm a big industrial warehouse advocate. I love luxury properties. And I also love multifamily, but in a way where I'm looking at distressed assets to convert. So understand that these brokers on these websites host hundreds of listings nationwide. The CBRE guys, all of the big all of the big brokers, all the big guys are on these websites. All the independent brokers are on these websites. And so the ones that house the majority of the listings in the cities and in the market that I am interested in investing in, those are the ones that pose interest to me to reach out to. And I go into a city, doesn't matter what city it is across the United States. One thing I know about commercial brokers is they specialize, just like physicians, just like doctors, just like everybody in professional trades. You don't go into the doctor's office so you can go in for some type of pulmonary work and see a pediatric doctor. Pediatric doctor special on pediatric medicine for kids. A cardiac doctor specializes in your heart. Pulmonary doctor specializes on your lungs. So look, when you go into commercial real estate, what I love most about commercial real estate is they're true professionals. They specialize in the industry that they work in all the time. So if you go in and you want to buy retail, you go in and talk to a retail broker. If you want multifamily, you go in and talk to a multifamily broker. The multifamily broker doesn't moonlight in retail, and the retailer doesn't moonlight in multifamily, or they don't go out and sell a home to their aunt, uncle, or friend on a Saturday afternoon. They specialize in multifamily. You want an industrial warehouse space, you find an industrial warehouse broker that specializes in industrial warehouse. You want farmland? There's commercial brokers, and that's all they do is farmland. And so they specialize in it. So whatever sector of commercial real estate you want to invest in, you find those brokers in the market that you want to purchase, and then you exercise networking through phone calls, emails, and you build relationships. You get referrals from people that you've worked with in the past that you've closed with. Why? Because brokers love closers. You want a broker to advocate for, you want off-market deals? I'll tell you what, go in what city and close one deal. And when you successfully close that deal, you can reach out to every commercial broker in that area, because if they specialize in multifamily, if they specialize in retail, these guys know what's on the market, what's available, and they've already dissected the market because they know it inside and out. You sit back and call them, say, hey, I just finished, my name is so-and-so, I'm with, and you tell them your LLC, whatever it is, and you tell them, I just closed on X, Y, and Z property with so-and-so at CBRE. He helped me through this transaction. I just want to introduce myself. Look, if you have anything else similar to this market sector that comes across your desk, do you mind sending it to me? Before it goes to market, I know you get this stuff. If before it goes to market, will you bring it across my desk? I'd love to look at it. And 9 times out of 10, these brokers have buyers for good deals before they go to market. If they go to market, it's because no one wants it. The deal is just an average deal. It's just an okay deal. It's not a great deal. It's just a deal. It's just like every other deal. You have to go back in, negotiate, underwrite, and everything. One of my best apartment complexes I ever found, ever bought, was an off-market deal. I remember going to Arizona. I talked to these guys down at the Orion Group, and I said, hey, they knew me because I closed on some other property with them years prior, and I sat back and bought an office building from one of the other brokers. I said, okay, I'm looking at multifamily. I want to talk to one of your multifamily guys. He said, okay, go out and look at this stuff. And I did. I went out and looked at all the properties that they sent to me. They didn't go out running around with me. There are some that will run around with you like residential brokers, but there's a lot of them that don't. They know you're a professional. You're a professional investor. You need to act like one. Even if it's your first deal, you act like a professional. You go out there and you look at the properties. You walk the properties. You see if there's anything that stands out to you that's not right. I went and looked at all these properties, and he goes, don't disappear on me like everybody else that comes in my office does. They come in, they tell me all their goals, all their insight, and then they disappear. And I said, no, you'll hear from me. And so knowing this, I made sure that I took aggressive matters of going in and following up with this guy. A week later, he calls me up and says, hey, Jerome, there's a perfect deal that fits your business model that I think you might be interested in. It's an 85-unit apartment complex, and he sends it over to me, and he goes, it hasn't went to market yet. It's not going to go to market. These guys aren't looking at selling. It's the armpit to their portfolio. And I go, what do you mean it's the armpit to their portfolio? Is it something that's financially stressed? He goes, no, it's a great property. He said, but these guys are big money guys. These guys look at stuff that are over 300 units plus. So this little 85 units, like a little armpit investment for them. They've already owned it for 7 years. They've made their money. The real estate is appreciated, but I think we can get you a fair market cap rate that's better than all this stuff that's on the market right now. And so we went in, and at the time, they were functioning, it was 92% occupied, but rents were low. They hadn't raised them in 7 years, and the market had appreciated in that market sector. We went in, we underwrote the deal with a 7.5% cap rate at that time, and that was our offer. We just went in. No negotiating. They didn't even send back a counter offer. We sent in a fair market offer. They came right back and they accepted our letter of intent. Then we worked out logistics of the terms and went through some of the detailed items that we had to negotiate back and forth. But they accepted our letter of intent for the purchase based on our terms right away without any negotiations, off-market deal. Those are the deals that you want, but they're not on any software. They're built through relationships. How do you exercise these relationships? Once you find these professionals, you need to be in their face in a professional way, in a friendly way. When I'm in town, even if I'm not in town doing business, I call them up and I say, hey, Jerome Maldonado, hey, I'm coming into town checking on some of my properties. I just wanted to reach out to you and see if you're available for coffee. Or take them coffee. If they're not available, say, you know what, I'm going to swing by the office tomorrow morning. What kind of coffee do you like? Take them some coffee. Say you got some colleagues, walk in with a tray from Starbucks. Just say, hey guys, just want to come in and say hi. Anything come to the market yet? You know, talk to them, shoot the shit, talk some basketball, some football, talk about ballet or the arts or whatever your thing is, right? Men and women, whatever your thing is, talk to them about it. Find a relationship, a bonding tool of something you have in common. Maybe you're from the same area. Maybe you guys both grew up in the Northeast and now you guys migrated to the Southwest. Talk to them about stuff that you have in common. Maybe you guys both have families and kids the same age. Talk to them about things you have in common. Maybe you guys both have families that love to go skiing. Maybe you guys both have families that love water sports. Whatever that thing is, find something in common with those brokers. Each and every single person on this earth, you have something in common with them, even if it's minute, even if it's small. And ladies and gentlemen, when you build those relationships with these brokers and you exercise them regularly, simple phone calls, say, even if you get a voicemail, just letting them know you're there, letting them know you're present. Say, hey, Jerome Maldonado. Hey, Zach, Jerome Maldonado. Hope things are going good out in Florida for you. Look, I haven't been down to the area with the pandemic for a little while, but I'm looking forward to getting back down there this spring. Hey, bud, we got to hook up for lunch or something. Got some really cool stuff going on. Hey, I know last time you mentioned that you guys were going down south and you love surfing, just hoping you're being with all the pandemic stuff, hoping you were able to catch some waves and hit the ocean a few times over the last few months. Look forward to hearing from you, bro. If you have anything that comes to the table, keep me in mind. Always remember me. We're shopping, we're buying, we got capital. Boom. Hang up the phone. That's it. Plain and simple. You don't have to get a hold of them. You just leave them a message. You're just letting them know you're still there. Soon off an email saying, hey man, came across this property. Check out what just closed in Arizona. I know you're in Florida, but I just want to show you this deal. Man, this is a smoking deal for what we're going through right now. I wish I would have found this. If you find anything like this, let me know. Why? Because I'm getting emails. Simple stuff like that. The best software to find off-market deals is you, ladies and gentlemen. And the best way to find those deals is through exercising ongoing relationships with professional brokers and colleagues in the market sector you want to buy in. People ask me, Jerome, how? How do you go across the country and find deals and brokers to work and advocate for you? I pick up my phone, my smartphone, and I use it like it was 1995. And I never forget where I came from. For all you millennials out there with these smartphones, they didn't exist in those days. I walked around with a pocket full of quarters and I used pay phones before cell phones. And when you can go out and exercise relationships via email and telephones, and you get that personal touch, that old school personal touch, you're the best software that'll bring you off-market deals. Be like a stray dog in the streets of Mexico. Be like a kid that runs the streets in a neighborhood back in 1975. Go out there and use common sense and create relationships. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how you'll find off-market deals to compound your success.